All right, experienced bassists. We're going to take a look at a classic Pearl Jam song from the album 10 called Jeremy. One of the interesting things about Pearl Jam, not that I'm biased, is that they all write songs. And this is a song written by the bassist, by Jeff Ament. And because it was written by Jeff Ament, we've got, it's bass driven. It's super awesome. And so we'll take a look, we'll break it down into its parts. Lots of stuff going on there. I'm just going to give you a cursory, here are the separate parts. You're going to have to go back and kind of put them all together because otherwise this would be a pretty long video. So let's take a look at part one. Part one for this is driven off of this riff here, off of the A string, open A string, 5 to 7 hammer on, 7th fret on the D string, back to open A, 5th fret on the D. Probably easier to hear it. That happens about a jillion times in the song. And for all of the verses, it happens kind of in blocks of 4. So it happens with what we'll call a single. And then it happens with what we call a double, which is when it immediately repeats instead of that pause. So I'll play a single, then a double, and you hear the difference. So that again was single, double. The other part to this is almost like a chording of the 6th and 7th frets on the 6th fret on the G string and the 7th fret on the D string, and it happens with 3 strings at once. These all 3 lowest strings, the E, A, D, G, are plucked, and that happens instead of a single, kind of like the end of the single instead of this. So I would do a single, a double, then what we'll call the chord. And then it ends on a double. So let me play that through all 4. Single, double, chord, double. Not the cleanest I've done, but you get the gist from there. So that's kind of like part 1. That happens during all the verses. At home, drawing pictures. The pre-chorus was "Daddy didn't give attention." It jumps right in after the 4th, after the single part on the last one. So what I get though is this 9th and 7th fret, 9th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the D string, and I get this is all happening still on page 1. I don't see bar numbers on this music, unfortunately, so it's the right underneath the words pre-chorus with "Daddy didn't give attention." And then you hear that little riff again. And this time, after I've done the 9-7 open like this, I get another riff, and I do a 7-7 on the D and G string, and then I lift up my index finger there, and I lift up my index finger, and I play 7-6, and I repeat that. So let me go through that right here. Daddy didn't give attention. And it repeats. And then the chorus itself, Jeremy spoke in class today. We have this fast little drop down between the 7th fret on the D string down to the 8th fret on the A string, and it goes, Jeremy spoke in class. That's I'm looking at the bottom line of music on page 47, the first page of the music, and to 5, 7, 8, 7. Do you hear that again? Plays that riff. Next time we go down from this, the second time around with Jeremy spoke in class today, the second time, we start on the 7th and drop down to the 8th like we did, and go back to the 5th like we did. But this time we're going to go 7, 3, oh, you can't see my hand there, 7, 3, open. And so the basic gist of it here is Jeremy spoke in class today. Jeremy spoke in class today. I may have played one too many of those in there, but you can hear that again. You can hear the gist of it when you're listening to the song, and you can hear how that works to go. There are a couple minor things that change along the way, like when they get into the try to erase this, you can see it says play bass figure 1, and that one ends on from the blackboard. That's at the bottom of page 48. That you could figure out on your own, no problem at all. And so then we get to the end of it, and we get a whole whack, like eight in a row with Jeremy spoke in class today. Jeremy spoken, Jeremy. And that ends with this, I mean, you can read it all there. It's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th lines of music in there. But this is on page 49. And we would continue on with Jeremy spoken. And that's bass figure 3 right there. This is Jeremy spoken. Oh, you can't see my hand. I'm sorry. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 5 5 plus. And you can actually improvise part of that too. It's just that bass note of F, G, and A over and over. It does it 8 times before it gets to the very end, which is this picking part here. This is at the very bottom of page 49. We start on the 14th and the 12th fret. It moves to the 12th and 11th fret, goes to 9 and 7, 10 and 11, 5 and 4, 5 and 7. And then you'll be able to figure out the repeats from there. But and it repeats. And a couple more harmonics to end it off. That happens obviously a lot faster. Happens a little faster than that even. Okay, a great one to muck about with. It's great for the fingers. It's great with a pick. It's that driving rhythm of this. It's a lot of fun to play around with. I hope you enjoy. And as per usual, EDSBY me if you have any questions. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.